Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today's message is a powerful one that will touch everyone who has ever felt as if they were or are still being held hostage by their past in the eyes of others. And I want to begin by asking you this question. Have you ever outgrown a version of yourself, but certain people just can't seem to let it go? It's a strange thing, isn't it? I mean, you've matured, you've grown, you've done the hard internal work, you've outgrown reckless behaviors, you've learned the lessons, and you've leveled up in ways that even you couldn't have imagined a few years ago. And yet, some people, maybe even those closest to you, still insist on reminding you of who you used to be. It's as if their memory of you is stuck on a loop, frozen in time. They approach you as if you're still trapped in that old version of yourself, unaware that you've moved on, that you've grown up, and that you've become a totally different person. But here's the twist for today's message. That, my friend, is not your problem. It's theirs. And you don't have to stoop down to their level in order to prove to them that you've changed. Instead, you can gracefully, if they would allow you to, just reintroduce yourself to them. You know, Maya Angelou, she once said, people will forget what you've said. They'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. That truth, it cuts so deep. I mean, it explains why, even after years and years have passed, someone can still be holding on to the memory of a moment that you've long forgotten. They can still be clinging on to a mistake, a wrong decision, or something you did when you were young and immature. And it's not because they are necessarily malicious. Sometimes it's simply because that version of you left an emotional imprint on them. But you and I both know life is about evolving. Life is about growth. Life is about change. You see, the older we get, the more you realize that you are not defined by isolated moments of your past. You are not your mistake. You are not that bad decision. And you are not the person who didn't know any better back then when. But you are a work in progress. You are constantly growing, learning, and shedding old layers of yourself that no longer serves you. Yet, people will sometimes try to provoke you by pulling you back into old stories. You know, they'll bring up what you did back then, expecting you to engage, to react, or even defend yourself. But this time, it's different. Because this version of you, this wiser, calmer, more self-aware version of you, that version refuses to be baited, and you refuse to entertain or revisit past mistakes in the name of playful banter. You see, when people come at you with those reminders of who you used to be, remember, you now have a choice. You can either stoop down to their level, get defensive, argue, and relive a past you've already outgrown, or you can stand tall, smile with grace, 10 toes down, and say, please allow me to reintroduce myself. And when you say that, you're not doing it out of arrogance. You're not saying it to prove a point. You're saying it because it's an invitation for them to meet the new, improved you. The version of you who has learned from their mistakes. The version of you who now moves with wisdom, who moves with class and with grace. The version of you who understands that life is not about perfection, but that it's about progress. I mean, let's be real for a moment. Some people will never see beyond your past because they are still stuck in their own past. They haven't matured, so they can't comprehend your growth. And that's okay, because life was never designed for you to run their race. Life was designed for you to run your own race. So what do you do when people try to drag you back into a race that you're not even running anymore? Well, you walk your path with finesse. You walk away. You run with grace, with class. You carry yourself with maturity, with wisdom, with forgiveness, and with empathy. See, you don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to pretend or to perform, because you're not in the business of convincing people of your growth. You're in the business of living it. And here's a hard truth. Not everyone will celebrate your transformation anyway. Some people will feel threatened by it. Some will envy it. And some will pretend it's not even real. But you don't need external validation to know that you've changed. You don't need applause to know that you've grown. And let me tell you, self-validation is one of the greatest forms of inner peace. Because when you validate your own progress, no one can take it away from you. So instead of seeking approval from those still living in your past, choose to celebrate yourself. Listen, self-validation is about acknowledging your own milestones. It's when you recognize your own growth and you walk in that confidence, not arrogance, but confidence that's rooted in self-awareness. Because you now know that every mistake, every failure, every setback you've made has been a lesson. And lessons are meant to teach us, not to define us. So when people remind you of your past, don't take offense. Simply smile, because mistakes are proof that you've lived, that you've grown, and that you've learned. See, life isn't about pretending you are always perfect. Life is about showing how you've grown from those imperfect moments. So don't wear your past as a shackle. Instead, wear it as a badge of honor and wisdom. Now, I'm not saying that you should be dismissive or rude to those who only see the old version of you. On the contrary, you extend grace. You listen to them, you smile, and you politely but firmly let them know that you've changed, that you've moved on. But what you will not do is shrink yourself to make them comfortable. What you will not do is you will not dim your light just so that they can feel less intimidated. You will not lower your standards just to fit into the box they've created for you. And if they are not ready to meet the new you, hey, that's okay. That's their journey, not yours. But you keep shining, you keep growing. And keep in mind that transformation is not a one-time event. It's a daily commitment. A commitment that requires consistency, not constant validation. And every day you wake up and you choose to be better than you were yesterday, that's transformation in action. And while some people may never acknowledge it, just let your life, let your behavior and your energy be the ultimate proof of your growth. Remember now, it's not about grand announcements. It's not about convincing anyone. It's about living your truth so consistently that eventually even the most skeptical person will have no choice but to say, oh wow, they have actually changed. Yes, they've really changed. But whether they see it or not, you, my friend, you just keep going, keep growing. You see, life is not about fitting into someone else's narrative of who you used to be. Life is about writing and rewriting your own, with or without their approval. Yes, people will have their stories about you. Yes, some of those stories will be outdated and many will be inaccurate. But don't allow any of that to define you. You define you. And let your actions also define you. Let your growth define you. Because truly, your mindset, your heart, and your character, those are what truly defines you. And so as you walk into this new season of your life, remember, you are not obligated to live in a version of yourself that you've outgrown just so people can be comfortable. And here's something else to remember. One of the keys to lasting transformation is to be kind to yourself. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. We hold on to guilt, shame, and regret far longer than anyone else does. But self-compassion is the foundation of personal growth. I mean, you can't evolve or grow if you are still punishing yourself for who you used to be. So understand this. At every stage of your life, you were doing the best you could with the knowledge, with the tools, and the mindset that you had at that time. But now you know better. So guess what? Now you do better. And that's growth. So whether you're a person of faith or not, know that transformation is a spiritual journey. Because it's about changing and it's about growing, not just outwardly, but inwardly. You know, where your peace becomes louder than your need to explain, where your character becomes your defense and your life becomes your testimony. And believe it or not, eventually, even those who doubted you at first, they will have to acknowledge that you are not the person they once knew. But even if they don't, remember, you're not here to convince them. You are here to live and to walk in your truth. And so, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question that I want you to reflect on deeply. And it's this: are you willing to reintroduce yourself to the world, even if some people never accept or acknowledge the new version of you? Are you brave enough to reintroduce him or her to the world, to family, to friends? Because honestly, that's where true freedom lies. Where you are no longer waiting for permission to become all that God has created you to be. When you no longer need external approval to validate your internal growth. When you can stand tall and say, yes, I've changed and I'm proud of who I've become. And whether you see it or not, I will continue to grow. So let us know in the comments if you have ever experienced people refusing to see and accept, the new version of you. And also let us know, how did you handle it? How did you handle the situation when they realized that, oh, she's not the same person. He has changed. And also, if this video somehow resonated with you, would you kindly share it with someone else? And remember, no matter what, keep learning, keep growing, and keep evolving. Because the only version of you that truly matters is the one you are becoming right now. See you next time.